This game has no characters. Pichu! That matchup is free. Bayonetta, +1. Bowser, +1. Bowser Jr., +2. Falcon. This is how I'm doing my matchup chart. I'm just looking at his character. I'm like, ah, yeah, Sephiroth wins this. Yeah, Sephiroth definitely wins this. Chrom and Roy are both pretty difficult for Sephiroth. I just don't know which one is harder. It might be Roy, or very likely is Roy, but like a lot of setups are really scary for Chrom as well. Chrom either falls into even or -1. Like Chrom either wins the matchup or it's even. No, I'll put this at even. For now, it might go to -1 though, because if Roy's harder, I think Roy's a bit harder. There's just some setups that are really annoying. Like jab F smash works really well with Roy, so obviously that correlates to it working fantastic for Chrom on Sephiroth because he's such a big body character, or like a large character. So catching me with that jab that does true combo into F smash happens more often than other characters. Byleth is, I've always said even for this matchup. I'm gonna say even for this. I don't think it's bad. They do the same thing in terms of like keep away. Like their forward air and back airs are basically the same shit. Byleth is scarier to get hit by in the matchup because I'm lighter. But Sephiroth could still juggle Byleth pretty well up in the air. Cloud, free. Nah, it ain't +2, it's +1. It's a +1. Corrin, I'll say a +1 as well. Daisy is a weird one because like normally people are like, oh, range is good against Peach and Daisy, or you could keep her out for like a long time or like forever with your range and shit. And while usually that is true, Sephiroth is not the same as those characters that swing a bunch of hitboxes constantly, you know? He forward tilts, and then he doesn't forward tilt again in the same spot, because by that time you forward tilt twice in place, the other person's right next to you. So you always have to like do one hit and move away. One hit and move away usually, and stuff like that. Other characters like Lucina, they can do short hop, nair, forward tilt, retreating forward air, and shit like that. And Daisy and Peach are like, oh my god, this is an annoying wall of range that I have to watch out for. Sephiroth doesn't have the same speed as it, so it's not as bad, I would say. But one thing that is good for Sephiroth is that Peach and Daisy are really floaty, so juggling them is actually not too bad. And more often than not, Peaches will fall down with like a falling down air, and Sephiroth's up air will shit on that, or up smash will shit on that, and stuff like that. So that's a really good thing in the matchup for sure. But on the ground, Peach and Daisy do completely fine dealing with Sephiroth, anything. I would say +1. Put +1 for now. Dark Pit, +1. Not much to say about this one. It's fucking Dark Pit. or Pit. Dark Samus. This one's actually a little hard. This is actually not that easy. I'm gonna put even right now, but it actually might be a losing matchup. Like, the ledge trapping is so good. I would say it's similar to Peach edge trapping, or not edge trapping, juggling Samus is like juggling Peach and Daisy. Like, you know they're gonna down B up there to stall, but Sephiroth's up air is gonna be like, alright, keep trying to stall with your up air, or with your down B, and juggle you. But the really good thing that Samus has is obviously her ledge trapping. Her ledge trapping is so good. Sephiroth's main ledge option is always drop off rising forward air, or like drop off jump forward air, especially if he has the wing. That option is not that good against Samus ledge trapping. You know, it clanks with the bomb and then eventually hits Sephiroth, and then it keeps Sephiroth in place to obviously get hit by a charge shot. Samus ledge trapping is just broken. It's just broken as fuck. It's not even just a Sephiroth specific thing. It's actually free as fuck for a lot of characters to get hit by. But Sephiroth is included there. I can't just jump and counter because Samus could be at a distance where the counter won't reach. So that won't work. Diddy Kong, a lot of people think this matchup's hard. I think I'm good against Diddy Kong. What I think of the matchup is probably different, but I will say people suck against Diddy Kong. I will say this is a -1 because it's easier for Diddy Kong to take advantage and like win neutral, especially if the other Sephiroth doesn't have much Diddy Kong experience or item play experience. But you gotta think. I'm not really thinking about stuff like that. I'm trying to, in general, whenever you think of matchups, you gotta think of both characters being played at the same level with the same amount of matchup experience and knowledge. Not like one person knows the matchup and the other person doesn't know the matchup, you know? You know, when people say, oh, why did this person beat this person in bracket? Maybe they didn't know the matchup. Even though it's a losing matchup, they may not know how to fight the character, or the other person is just better than them. Diddy Kong feels -1. I would give Diddy Kong the edge, just because even though Sephiroth has like range and all that shit, Diddy Kong's banana being like transcendent or whatever and going through every move, that creates a more annoying problem than Diddy Kong's height. Because Sephiroth normally is fighting at a range, but now you have to worry about fighting from that range at all times, because if you forward tilt the same moment that Diddy Kong throws a banana from max distance from forward tilt, you can get hit by banana F smash. So that's something you have to watch out for. You can't just like mindlessly swing forward tilt and stuff when he has a banana. You want to just keep like hopping around until he throws that banana. That's one thing you gotta keep in mind. Obviously, Diddy Kong could do like Z drop, forward air and stuff like that, but more often than not, they don't do that. And if they do get a habit of doing like Z drop aerials, it's easier for Sephiroth to land counters, because even if they don't grab the banana or try to mix it up, the counter will activate because of banana drop, as opposed to them doing forward air and stuff, on top of them doing forward air and shit like that. But that's one of the annoying matchup, or one of the annoying things. Sephiroth always tries to fight at a distance, so therefore he's like pretty close to the ledge. So in those encounters where I just mentioned, where Diddy Kong throws a banana at the same time Sephiroth throws a forward tilt, sometimes you can catch Diddy Kong's banana with a good time forward tilt. But that's not the scenario I'm talking about. I'm talking about if they know you're gonna forward tilt and they like short hop and throw the banana, or they just throw the banana if they're close enough to not get hit by forward tilt, but you know, close enough that the banana will land. Sephiroth will get banana into run up forward smash near the ledge, and that will probably kill him at around like 85% or so. And so that basically means you won't be able to play with the wing, because you might get put to 85% from the banana and then die to F smash and shit like that. But Sephiroth's pretty good at keeping Diddy Kong near the ledge, and he can also juggle him really well. And also Sephiroth can use the banana against Diddy Kong pretty well. Donkey Kong is Donkey Kong, bro. Sephiroth's light as fuck, but even that is not enough. DK gets Ledge Trap to Oblivion. You know the classic. Diddy Kong, or not Diddy Kong, Donkey Kong gets Ledge Trap to Oblivion. Can't land. Counter his recovery. Doesn't have much mix-up on his recovery. The only good thing he has is that Sephiroth's light, so he might get an early stock, but that more often does not happen. Dr. Mario is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's the same thing like DK. Obviously not every single thing, but Mario does fine against Sephiroth. But the reason why Dr. Mario doesn't do fine versus Sephiroth is not his moveset. It's just his like his stats. His speed is so slow. His recovery 80 times easier to like hit than like Mario, because it's basically a guaranteed stock, because he has to use like down B almost all the time to come back against Sephiroth. You hit him with forward air, he's just dead. Like, it's actually very free. Duck Hunt, I'd say Duck Hunt is a +2. I can't see this matchup being too good. As you can see, Sephiroth shits on the characters that aren't not that great. Surprise, surprise. Falco, I think Falco loses +1. I think Sephiroth is good combo food for Falco, but I don't know. I don't think Falco is like super great at getting in. Obviously, that's one of his main struggles. Sometimes they have to go for that desperate side B in order to get stuff started, and like that's never a good option. Like if you have them doing that, then it means that they're struggling. They're really struggling to get something started. So they go for like the Hail Mary side B. Which happens more often than not, but a lot of people get caught by the side B. So yeah, that's just one of the things you have to watch out for. In my personal experience, I did play like Tilde a while back, and we had some like back and forth games and stuff. He probably won a bit more, but I mean Tilde just got like. But I just feel like even like just matchup wise, like I don't think it's like super great for Falco. It's not the worst. +1 is just, you know, he just loses, but that's not bad. A lot more difficult for the next character we gonna talk about. This character shits on this character free. Fox shits on Sephiroth free. 100%. Neutral, garbage. Disadvantage state, absolute garbage. Advantage state, not bad. Not bad. But getting to that point, that's just one point of the match. A lot of times I have to hope that the Fox makes a mistake. Matchup is actually garbage. Light is a better player than me. He is 100%, 1000% better than me. But, like, I've always done really well against Light. I know how to fight Fox. Whenever I play Sephiroth versus Fox, I'm like, when do I get to actually throw out something? And if there's ever moments like that in any matchup, like that you feel that way, and it's like actually true, like a lot of people of that character feel that way, then maybe it's not just a you thing, it's a fucking character thing. Fox is just really difficult. Fox has a lot of speed, obviously, to hop around and dodge a lot of Sephiroth's moves. Sephiroth does not have the speed to keep up with Fox, so a lot of the times you're throwing out moves hoping that Fox runs into the move rather than like set him up into shit. It's not like unplayable. -2 it's a bad matchup. It's not unplayable, but it's just a bad matchup. Like you should not win the matchup, but you have some stuff you can do in the matchup at the very least. Ganondorf, free as fuck. It's just free as fuck. Greninja. Ooh, this is an interesting one. This is a matchup you never see, honestly. Greninja is pretty annoying. I would actually say it's even. I won't say that Greninja beats Sephiroth. You have to watch out for some things versus Sephiroth, or versus Greninja as Sephiroth. If you're recovering and you're forced, or you have to know when to use Octoslash and when to use Blade Dash. If you just Octoslash all the time, when recovery, you're basically asking to die. Greninja's counter destroys Sephiroth. That shit destroys Sephiroth's recovery. Like the angle that the Greninja could send you in just fucks you up. The only way you're coming back is if you have a wing. But sometimes if you're at that wing percent, you might just straight up die from the counter. It's really hard to get back on stage. Or if you're forced to Octoslash, you're pretty much, kiss your style goodbye. Unless the Greninja messes up, but that's off stage. On stage, it might be a little annoying to catch Greninja, but one thing, I don't know, I don't find Greninja too hard to actually attack personally. Maybe it's because Greninja jumps a lot to do things. He does have down tilt and dash attack, but I feel like more often than not, they try jumping a lot more to get like jump nair or jump forward air into a dash attack into whatever. And I find that pretty easy to punish because they're jumping now. So even though Greninja is like a small character because of how he's like positioned and stuff like that, he's not as bad because he's like pretty all over the place, but not in the same sense as like Fox, where Fox is like extremely fast and I have to watch out for a bunch of setups. Greninja does have some good setups. Greninja is he's always been like an underrated character, or a character that people just don't really know too much about. And I don't know everything about Greninja, but I've played the matchup a decent amount to at least have a somewhat of an idea of how the matchup will go. It's really hard to describe the Greninja matchup, honestly. He's like a slippery character that jumps around a lot or like moves around a lot, but it's usually not too bad to get hit by a lot of things that Greninja does. Hero, I think Hero's +1. Not much to be said except that Sephiroth has so much range that Hero has a hard time actually doing menu shit because he has to watch out for forward air or side B if you don't have bounce on. If you don't have bounce on, you might have to watch out for the side B, but even if you have bounce on, forward air is still an option. Hits from, like a roll distance away and stuff, so you really have to be far away from Sephiroth in order to safely do a down B menu option. Obviously, there will still be times to do it, like Accelerator off stage or Oomph or like whatever and shit like that. But then you actually have to get in versus Sephiroth, and Hero doesn't really have the best tools to get in versus a character like Sephiroth, because Sephiroth's forward air is like really good. It feels weird to use sometimes, and just because of how like thin, I guess, like the blade is and stuff like that. But it lingers for so much, or like 7 frames, and 7 frames doesn't sound like it's a lot, but it's definitely good enough for that range. It's very, very good. Ice Climbers, I think this matchup is shit. This matchup is pretty hard. I have no faith in Ice Climbers. I think Ice Climbers are complete doo-doo cheeks in general as a character. But against Sephiroth, it does not change at all. Character, I think Sephiroth destroys them. Ike, I think Ike is just a win. It's just a win. It's not a hard win. I thought it was a hard win at first, but it's not a hard win. Ike neutral is not too bad against Sephiroth. Obviously, you know, disadvantage is where Ike falls. If Ike had a much better disadvantage, then he would potentially win the matchup, but that is a factor. Killing him is almost free as fuck in most scenarios. Ike swings a lot, so I won't say there's no risk for going for counters, but you can be almost extremely confident in going for counters on his aerial approaches. Like when they're doing like short hop Nair and short hop forward air, usually it's fine, especially if you're at like 60% or something like that. Of course they can mix it up, but they're trying to delete your stock as soon as possible. But there's some scenarios where you can force Ike into where he almost feels like he needs to throw out a hitbox, and if you can call those out, or if you played a matchup enough, you'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about, and you can just counter it for free, and that will close out the stock because normally they won't have a jump since you're juggling them and shit like that. But yeah, there's not much to say about Ike versus Sephiroth, honestly. It's just the best way to explain the matchup. Ike can get punished way harder for a simple mistake than Sephiroth can. That's the best way to explain it. Galgayan, aka Incineroar. I'll say this match is +1 actually. It's either +1 or it's +2. He's free as fuck to kill off stage, like Sephiroth's range, like Sephiroth's forward air, back air, whatever your counter. A lot of it can fuck up Sephiroth. But Incineroar is actually a little tricky because a lot of times it's a little hard to say. Like, I feel like you have to watch a top level set between Sephiroth and Incineroar, which doesn't happen much. Because a lot of people, when they think of Incineroar, they just think of like the random button mashing online elite smash Incineroars. That's not the Incineroars that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Sky J's, you know? The Sky J Incineroar like level. It is not as simple anymore. It's not as simple anymore. That matchup is not as bad as it may seem on paper. He has a consistent kill on Sephiroth too, with his revenge into forward air. If you can force Sephiroth to use Octaslash, you can do revenge into forward air. Like the revenge will bounce Sephiroth off into a guaranteed forward air, and it will almost always kill him. If you force them to use Octaslash, very likely he's at a percent that you sent him far enough away that he had to use Octaslash. So then you get the revenge into guaranteed forward air, insta kill, or like you're dead unless the Incineroar fucks up the combo. Your stock gets deleted sometimes. Incineroar stocks get deleted too if you edge guard him really well. That's why I'm not sure if it's +1 or +2, because Incineroar does have some good stuff in the matchup, and obviously if he parries anything, it's a free like run up grab probably, depending on where he's at, where he parries stuff. Incineroars are really good at parrying a lot. You know, that's kind of in their nature. They're a slow ass character, so if they don't know how to parry, they're not gonna get in. But obviously that's player dependent rather than the character. I don't think Incineroar is too bad. Inkling, I actually don't know what the percentage window is for up throw up air. I haven't played the matchup in the opposite role. Like I've played Sephiroth versus Inkling as Sephiroth myself, but I haven't played Inkling versus Sephiroth to get a better idea of how the Inkling fares against the matchup. I think the matchup is not too bad. I'm not sure. I'm leaning either towards even or -1 because Inkling is able to pressure very, very, very far off stage and still manage to come back. Any characters that can pose a threat to Sephiroth after throwing Sephiroth off stage is actually really annoying. They don't win the matchup simply based on that, but Inkling does fine against Sephiroth in neutral, obviously, because you know, small character plus low profiles or gets really low to the ground when dashing and stuff like that. So that eliminates forward air as like a neutral tool for the most part. Some Inklings get really greedy, and it makes it really easy to land like side Bs and shit. Like if an Inkling is spamming Roller, you can just side B, or like charge your side B, get a free 3 orbs, you know, all that shit. But one thing that's very important is, like I mentioned, the up throw up air kill percent, but also how easy it is to close stocks. Inkling, not really known as a character that can close out stocks outside of up throw up air, like, you know, reliably, and also Roller, but like, you know, that's such a big committal option that you usually get hard punished if you miss it or mess it up. I would probably say I'll say it's even for now, but I can see Inkling winning. One thing that's just annoying, like I mentioned off stage, Inkling could do Nair like 25,000 times off stage and still come back. And if any of those 25,000 Nairs hit Sephiroth while he's charging Octaslash, you're dead. You're actually just dead. Unless you get your wing like from that Nair and you get an extra jump, then you're alive. But if you have no jump and you're forced to up B, Inkling is one of those characters that actually fucks you up for it. Some characters have a harder time catching Sephiroth charging Octaslash or can't really deal with it, but Inkling is not one of those characters. Inkling can reliably go off stage, hit you with a Nair back air or a back air and just like carry you to the point where you're so far away that you can't make it back as Sephiroth. Any matchups that you're able to delete stocks or Sephiroth stock without him playing the wing potentially, that's really good. That's really good. But obviously that's not everything, because you also have to fight Sephiroth in neutral and stuff like that. So I'm talking more about disadvantage. Inkling disadvantage, pretty easy I think for Sephiroth to like get some hits in. Especially if the Inkling is forced to side B. You can actually just go out there and just forward air really easily. Especially because the Inkling tries to side B very far away from the ledge or very far away into the blast zone. So normally when you hit them with a forward air, when they side B, they're dead because they're that close to the blast zone. On stage, not too bad. Not too bad in terms of like juggling with like short hop up airs and stuff like that. You have to watch out for up throw up air, I would imagine. I think someone said 85 to 95% is like the percent range. I can't see up throw up air killing Sephiroth at 85%, but I can see it at 95% killing. Especially if he has some ink on him prior to that, it'll definitely kill. Isabelle, it's a bad matchup. Isabelle is a bad matchup. Isabelle's not doing anything to Sephiroth. Like, you're actually not doing anything in this matchup. It's so bad. Not the worst matchup, probably, in the game. Not Isabelle's worst matchup, probably. But it's pretty bad. Joker is a losing matchup. -1. I do not think this matchup is even at all. There's nothing even about this. The only thing even is that they both have a comeback mechanic. That's the only thing they can share. Everything else, in terms of dancing around Sephiroth's hitboxes and all that shit, Joker has such an easy time doing shit like that. He's just way too mobile. He's like Greninja, but worse because he has more kill power sometimes. You know, Arsene, obviously. Or it's so much easier, I think, for Joker to blow up Sephiroth than it is Greninja. But like they have like similar movement options or like just jumping around. But Joker's like mobility and stuff is definitely better than Greninja. When Joker moves around, he just dances like a motherfucker. He's such an annoying little shit who continues to shift his hurt box. And Sephiroth has an annoying time dealing with those characters just because he can't mash like a normal character normally can. So like you have to really you really have to pick some of your moves very carefully, as opposed to Joker where he could just do Joker shit. You know, he could just move around comfortably and not worry about too much. Sephiroth, it's not Sephiroth's worst matchup. Obviously, I put him at -1, so Sephiroth does have some good things against him. Orbs are a good thing against a Joker, and in fact, you can even bait Joker into using his Rebels Guard, his normal down B, to summon Arsene with the orb. So something I do is like if I fight a Joker and they're like at 80% of the Arsene meter, I will use orbs, give him 3 orbs, make it look like I'm not gonna like go in and like hit him or something like that. Like I'm like, oh shit, this is really hard to hit him. Oh man. So then they get comfortable to use down B against the orbs, but by doing that they leave themselves wide open, because even though the Joker's Rebels Guard has a hitbox after he releases it, the hitbox is not that big and it's still punishable. Normally it's not punishable because he's doing that on the character that he just down B countered. Like Lucina, if Lucina forward aired and Joker did the normal down B, pushes Lucina back because Lucina just forward aired. But Sephiroth is not doing forward air. The orbs are what he's countering. So Sephiroth can actually just get a free forward tilt and knock him off stage, or even kill him, depending on his percent. If you're feeling bold, you can go for an F smash. So if Joker's like at 60% and he tries to run near the ledge and down B, like jump down B and get the Arsene, you know, make the Arsene come out, you can F smash punish his like animation of when he's doing a counter and like potentially get a stock if you sweet spot it. Shit like that, you know. That's something that you can do that helps a little bit, but obviously if the Joker knows that you can do that, they're not gonna just give you the down B for free or the down B punish for free. So it's not like a valid strat, but it is something Sephiroth can do. Sephiroth can 2-frame Joker, you know, pretty reliably with down tilt. Doesn't really set up into any kill confirms or anything like that, but it's percent that gets added onto Arsene, so Arsene has less playtime, and also you can get something off of it. Like if you read an air dodge, you can like back air. Or if you're charging up smash after the down tilt and they air dodge into it, you can like get a sweet spot up smash, or you can get an octa slash. You know, like you're still in a good spot off of that down tilt to delete Arsene. And also Joker can get gimped, like normal Joker can get gimped by Sephiroth doing like forward airs or even side B. If Joker tether grabs the ledge and you hit him with side B, he's almost guaranteed to die unless he has his double jump. The reason why his first up B is so good compared to the rest of his up Bs, I'm talking about just tether up Bs, is that when Joker does up B for the first time, it's the same for other tether characters that have an up B as a tether, Ivysaur, Byleth, and Joker. When they up B, they have like an extra hop when they up B. But if you hit them again, and then they do up B afterwards, they don't have that hop. So if you hit Sephiroth, or if you hit Joker with Sephiroth side B, after he already initiated the up B, the next up B, he's just gonna be falling while up Bing, and very, very unlikely, depending on where he's at, he's not gonna make it back from the distance that you just hit him in. So it's a good way to gimp him potentially, or even just forward air just to like knock him a little too far away. Jigglypuff, I think this is either a +1 or a +2. I'll say +1, just because like I have not fought. Personally, I've not fought like Base Mage or anyone that's like, you know, peak Jigglypuff, but I see some of the things Jigglypuff has, like theory crafting of how the matchup can go. I can see Jigglypuff having some good things in the matchup, but I feel like Sephiroth more often than not will win neutral, will keep neutral in his favor or like advantage state for a while. Forward throw helps a lot in that matchup for Jigglypuff because if you don't know, Jigglypuff got a forward throw buff. Doesn't kill, but it sets characters in a specific spot or like a certain angle that's really good at closing the stock, including Sephiroth. Like you can't like DI forward throw up and then just jump back onto the stage. You basically get set like this. So if you get forward throw near the ledge, like down air into forward air into grab near the ledge and get forward thrown, you get set like this, where you're basically forced to use your jump in order to come back. And if my jump gets sniped, I die. I'm pretty much dead because Jigglypuff has 4 extra jumps to keep hitting me. I can counter, but counter is not something you just throw out, because if I guess incorrectly, then I just SD. The Jigglypuff doesn't have to do anything at that distance. I'm just too far away to come back. The main reason why it's not a +2 is because of the offstage play. The offstage play is more of a factor than most characters, probably. Just because Jigglypuff has multiple jumps, her forward throw is perfect for a potential edge guard as well and shit like that. Obviously, it's not as easy as, oh, Jigglypuff throws Sephiroth off stage, you're dead. No, that's Cloud. We're not talking about Cloud here. But it could be something similar, where if you guess correctly with Jigglypuff after the forward throw, I will die. Don't get me wrong, I don't think Jigglypuff is a good character still, but it's just not the freest matchup. So like in this kind of scenario, like forward throw you would think won't really send you that far, but it sends you in such a bad spot that like you actually do have to jump, like, and then boom, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you ain't coming back, you know, something like that. You have to actually like, it's not a free recovery. You actually have to guess correctly or you just die. Kazuya Mishima. Yeah, I'll say it's +1. It's kind of one of those things where it's either a +1 or a +2. I don't think it's even, or like in Kazuya's favor. Kazuya just gets fucking juggled to oblivion. Kazuya can get under a lot of Sephiroth's moves with the help of, like, you know, doing like the wave dash canceling and stuff like that, or like, you know, they're just wave dashing across the fucking stage or across the ground and shit, and then actually get some hits in. He's not throwing out constant hitboxes that Kazuya can run into, so it's not like the worst matchup, but more often than not, Kazuya is in disadvantage. It's just Kazuya. Like, it's really hard to describe how Kazuya in a nutshell, outside of like one of the worst disadvantages in the game with one of the best advantages in the game. Ken-san. I think Ken is also a +1. Ken's pressure, really good. In neutral, his advantage state versus Sephiroth, like on the ground, is really fantastic. It's solid, can kill Sephiroth at relatively early percents. But he does have a little bit of a hard time getting in to get to that point, and Ken's disadvantage is bad enough that Sephiroth wins. Diddy. Garbage. Come on, we know this. This is, I'm looking at this and I literally run into like all of these characters one time on Elite Smash every day. Like, I fucking hate it. Rool. Come on, bro. Let's stop this. Kirby. He is annoying. He is annoying, but he has the opposite of what Jigglypuff can do. The only thing you really have to watch out for is like down tilt on the ground. Like a lot of other stuff that Kirby does is like whatever. Matchup is not good. Also, same for K. Rool. You know, I'll briefly talk about K. Rool. It's fucking King K. Rool. He's gonna side B with that shitty ass side B. That side B is one of the worst moves, bro. When people do not punish that shit, I'm like, how the fuck do you not punish that? That's literally a like 3 taunts back to back, basically. Like, it is so bad. That move is so bad. I can understand maybe like Olimar not being able to punish it because they can delete like Pikmin. But any other character, even tether characters, they should not have any problems. Link has some stuff. Yeah, Link's kill power is pretty good, obviously. But one thing Link does have is a really good up B out of shield against Sephiroth Nair. Sephiroth's Nair, if you have a good up B out of shield, or even sometimes a good up smash out of shield, because Sephiroth's Nair is one of the most used moves that he does. So that means more often than not, it's stale. So that means you have even more time to punish it, or it becomes easier to punish because it's less shield damage. Yeah, I would say this is +1. I would say this is +1. Little Mac. Oh boy, I love fighting Little Mac with Sephiroth. I actually don't. This matchup is really annoying. It's not in Little Mac's favor, but it's actually annoying as fuck because I just die. Just how Little Mac just dies, I die. But it's a clean matchup, or a clean win for Sephiroth. It's, you know, like, you have more range. Little Mac on the ground, just like every other matchup, is actually annoying as fuck because it's a Little Mac. He's one of the fastest characters. He has really good tilts and all this shit. So he actually is pretty annoying in neutral, but his advantage state is not that good. I would say Little Mac is +2, but I could actually see it being like closer to +1 than +3. Lucario. Man, this is another obscure matchup. This is not a matchup I personally have much experience in, and I have not really seen. But I'm actually gonna say it's not a +2 matchup. Well, for one, I don't think Lucario is as bad as like people think. Like, I don't think Lucario's bottom 3. That's like absurd. Like, do you see some of those other characters up there? There's no way some people really think many or all of those characters are better than Lucario. I just do not. I refuse to believe that these characters up there are next level ass. I would give it up to Sephiroth just because he overall in neutral and advantage state, he does a pretty good job at keeping Lucario at bay. It's just that you might have to potentially deal with or Lucario a lot more than you would have to if you're like Pyra and shit. You know, you can just fucking delete his stock pretty easily, or like other characters that can delete his stock a bit easier, or like Fox or some shit, you know. Lucas. Now this is me saying Lucario was an obscure matchup, but here we go with another obscure matchup. Lucas? This character like exists in Europe and that's it. Lucas does jump a lot. So even though he's like a small character, he's not a small character in the sense of like Inkling or Diddy Kong, because he's like slightly larger than them, but he jumps a lot in his neutral. Like double jump Zare cancel, or double jump, or like short hop into side B, falling side B, short hop Nair, you know, rising down air, or whatever the fuck they be doing. A lot of it does involve jumping, and Sephiroth likes characters that jump, because you can start catching them with your short hop forward airs. You can catch them with your forward tilt, especially Lucas. Forward air and forward tilt is good because, like I said, he does a lot of short hops. So that means Lucas is still in front of your face because his short hop, obviously short, doesn't really go too far. And he's not a tall character, so he's not like going really high up in the short hop. So forward tilt is really good. Forward air is really good. Falling reverse up air is really good. If we're talking like two people who know their characters, the characters that they're fighting against, Sephiroth versus Lucas, Lucas versus Sephiroth, if they're even in skill, even in matchup knowledge and all that stuff, I will still say Lucas loses this +1. Not too bad of a matchup. Oh, this is a good one. Finally, a pretty good one. Garbage matchup. Absolutely. No, I'm just playing. Imagine. Lucina is either an even matchup or she wins. In my opinion. The only reason why I give it a plus or an even is because Lucina's counter, or Sephiroth's counter, can activate on stage versus Lucina's recovery and two-framer basically, or hit her before she actually grabs the ledge. That helps so much because a lot of times when you're trying to kill Lucina and shit like that, it's really hard. Really hard. That up B is really good. So being able to do that on stage, and you have to obviously time it. It's not free unless you force the Lucina to like air dodge and shit, and they have no jump. Then you can predict the up B timing very easily because they can't really have much room to mix up. But whenever you do time that down B, on Lucina's recovery and Marth, this goes for Marth as well, but Marth is easier to deal with than Lucina because it's fucking Marth. Like, yes, he has chippers, but more often than not, he's not tippering. So Lucina gets, or Sephiroth gets to use the wing a little bit more often than Marth does, or then versus Sephiroth gets to use the wing more versus Marth than he does Lucina, because Lucina kills more consistently, but Sephiroth sometimes lives way too long against Marth. And that's just Marth's, like, you know, that's just Marth. You know, there ain't much else to say. We already know about that. Mario, I think, is also an even matchup. Mario, like I mentioned about Dr. Mario earlier, where the range can give Dr. Mario a problem because of his speed and everything like that. Mario is different. His speed is not Dr. Mario's speed. His combo game is not Dr. Mario's combo game. Yeah, like I remember I thought Sephiroth versus Mario was even like a while back, and people were like, nah, bro, he outranges Mario. I'm like, if only that's what determined the matchup, then Sephiroth would be fucking top 3. But no, one thing Mario is really good at, obviously, his combo game. His combo game is really, really excellent. He's one of those characters. Remember how I talked about where when Ken gets in, he does really good against Sephiroth because he just keeps fighting Sephiroth or chasing him. Like if you try rolling away, Ken is just running, following you with running up tilt or running down tilt, all that shit. Mario is literally the same thing, but you can die from like 3 different aerials. like he's gonna be attacking you so much that you're like, yo, I have to counter. But obviously you have to make sure the counter is hitting towards his direction and it doesn't hit Sephiroth, or whatever move that they do doesn't come out before the counter. So it's not like, oh, if he's just pressuring me that much, just counter and he'll get away. It's not as simple as that. Absolutely not as simple. If it was that simple, then it would be a +1 matchup. But Mario's explosive factor sometimes is so good that you don't even get to play as the wing. You might even die like getting the wing throughout the game. So falling up air, falling up air, forward air, or sweet spot F smash. Nair, falling sour spot Nair into sweet spot F smash is true. It's a true combo that Mario has. And that shit is fucking dumb as hell. Doesn't really happen too often. Or like a jab reset into sweet spot F smash. You know, there's a lot of shit you have to watch out for. That you can die early before you even have access to your wing. So you have to be careful. But overall, that's why I'll give it even. Both characters can kind of shit on each other. Enough that I will say that it's even. Luigi is either a +1 or a +2. This matchup I definitely think is in Luigi, or is in Sephiroth's favor. Like, Luigi's mobility is not that great. Orbs are pretty good against Luigi, because a lot of Luigi's like running in, throwing out, or throwing fireballs, or throwing out Zair, or they just run in trying to like grab you by, you know, trying to get a combo going, and then they just run into the orbs, and the orbs interrupts the grab and shit like that. You know, there's a whole bunch of ways to land orbs on Luigi. While he doesn't have too much, he can parry the side B and then run up and grab you, so you do have to be careful about that. So I wouldn't advise going for orbs when you're at 0%, because you might potentially get 0 to death and stuff like that. Always have that in your mind. Doesn't matter what Luigi player you're playing against, they very likely got in the training room for like 30 minutes, like, yeah, down here, Nair, down here, you know, forward air, or whatever the fuck, up B, whatever the fuck that combo is. Yeah, you know what combo I'm talking about. So you want to be careful, because Sephiroth definitely will die to that shit consistently at the percents. Luigi's disadvantage, very bad, very bad. Luigi has to throw out a down B. Down B is so laggy. Like, I know a lot of people hate Luigi. Luigi is like a mashing character, but like he has to, because his airspeed is like whatever, is garbage. So when he's getting juggled, he has to throw out a down B at the same time as your attack. If he's too slow, or if he does it too fast, then whatever pressure move you do normally will just beat out the down B and continue to pressure. One thing I always tell Cosmos, I'm like, bro, you're Pyra and Mythra. Your up air, Pyra's up air will not lose to anything Luigi does. And the Luigi player knows that. If Luigi does falling Nair, falling down air, falling anything, Pyra's up air will beat that. Sephiroth's up air is basically the same thing. It's just that Pyra's up air is more, obviously, like, is more of a threat because of how fast it is and the range and shit like that, and Pyra is able to act out more. But one thing that that any character can do against Luigi is to be patient. If you up throw a character, if you up throw Luigi or down throw Luigi, and you have a combo that's true, but like just barely true, don't do it. Don't do it against Luigi. Because if the Luigi does down B, it's a free punish. Sephiroth can drop his shield and Octoslash. Any Luigi down B that I see coming. Marth, like I mentioned briefly with Lucina, it's basically the same matchup. However, you get to play with Sephiroth's wing a lot more often than Lucina. Mega Man. I did play a Mega Man on Wi-Fi not too long ago, and that was like my first real experience in that matchup, and it was like I expected it to be. It was really fucking annoying, because Mega Man is a annoying little shit. I think this matchup actually is not bad. I think this matchup's even. I do not think Sephiroth wins this matchup. Neutral is really annoying. Really annoying. Because Sephiroth fights at a distance, which is good. But Mega Man fights at a further distance because of pellets and metal blades and side Bs and leaf shields when you finally get up close to him. It's really annoying. Meta Knight. The GOAT. This is a weird matchup. This is an obscure matchup. Meta Knight is an explosive character from 0 to like 60%. At those points in the match, he can be a little scary to fight, because you know if you get hit by one thing, it's gonna lead up to a grab, down throw, into up air, jump, down air, and start edge guarding you, right? But when you get out of that percent range, Meta Knight becomes so garbage. He becomes so like basic and like so easy to fight against, because now he only has like one thing that could truly combo, which is like up air and he has to call you out with it. If he hits you with dash attack, he's not going to combo into up air anymore. All this shit, it gets so much easier. But early percent Meta Knight is actually dangerous in the Sephiroth matchup because he might push you too far away to come back and you might not get the wing. But that's very specific. That is like one specific scenario. Anything else, the matchup is basically the same, which is Sephiroth just out neutrals. He just out neutrals Meta Knight, in my opinion. Like, Meta Knight's neutral is not that great. Sephiroth wins. Or like, what matters most, besides that early percent, might be a little bit tricky. But once you get past that percent range, versus Meta Knight, matchup gets a lot easier. Mewtwo. That is a +1. I'm gonna tell you why it's a +1. The same thing that Sora. Also, I didn't even talk about it. Kazuya has the same shit too. Sora, Mewtwo, Kazuya, they all share one thing against Sephiroth that sucks for them. Their double jumps are so slow that it actually gives Sephiroth a true... I'm pretty sure this is true. I never actually tested it out. I just do it in game and I'm just like, huh. I've noticed that they can't actually do anything. Or I thought about it. I'm like, their double jump is very slow. So let me see what happens if I do up throw into double jump up air. And it works. It actually does work. I fought against the cat a million times. Mewtwo's double jump is pretty much the same thing. So I would, apply it to Mewtwo as well. Kazuya's double jump, I've done that against riddles and stuff, and it does work. And what I'm talking about is if you do up throw into like jump, double jump, rising up air, if Mewtwo throws out a button, which is either like a falling nair, a double jump, anything that's not an air dodge, he gets hit by the up air. And you can also sweet spot the up air, so it can kill them at like 80% if you sweet spot it up there, because you're rising up to the top blast zone with the up air, and you can kill them. But if you know they're gonna air dodge, which is like the only option that they can do to get out of that, you can read the air dodge with an up smash. You can read the with an up smash, you can read it with a back air, you can read it with an octa slash, you can read it whatever. If you know they're gonna air dodge, then yeah. But even then, if you think about it, the reason why it's still a good scenario, let's say if I up throw them, right? And Mewtwo decides to jump and I don't do anything. Mewtwo just used his jump. Kazuya just used his jump. Sora just used his jump. Sephiroth's on the ground. And now you have to land against Sephiroth with no double jump, one air dodge, and a Prage. It's really hard to land against Sephiroth, especially if you have no jump and you're a floaty character like those three are, or like, characters that just stay up in the air for a while. It's really hard because that up air is fucking huge. Mewtwo is floaty, so if Mewtwo ever throws Sephiroth off stage and takes his jump, or like, hovers around there, you can like, do like rising double jump back air, or like, you can throw out a lot of back airs, and if any of them hit, they could potentially seal the deal depending on the percentage, or if I have the wing or not, and stuff like that. So Mewtwo has some good things, so it's definitely not a +2 matchup, but I'll give it a +1 for Mewtwo, or for Sephiroth. Brawler is up next. I'll give it a +1. I played this matchup a little bit. I have some personal experience, but even when thinking about the matchup, I really don't think this is a bad matchup at all. Like you know how everyone memes about Brawler being like better Fox and shit like that. I don't feel, well, one, that I understand the comparison, but like, no. No. When it comes to this matchup, you see who the better Fox is. Brawler is an odd character. He's an odd character. He has some setups. He has some like niche little setups and stuff. But the one setup you have to avoid, at least currently, what every Brawler has, or what every Brawler setup has, is that down throw into up B shit. Down throw up B it's a good setup. It is a solid like kill confirm on like everybody, if you know the percentages and shit like that. However, it's the only thing at those percents that I need to watch out for when I'm fighting against Brawler. So it makes it very easy and very easy to avoid it. And if they hit me with other moves, all it's doing is knocking me out of that down throw up B % range. For me personally, I never found that to be that much of a bother in any matchup. Not even just Sephiroth me Brawler, but like it applies to Sephiroth me Brawler. Me Sword Fighter, come on. Me Sword Fighter is donkey shit, bro. All he has is down throw up B or down throw up air. I mean, if they DI incorrectly, it's a true combo even if they DI correctly at lower percents. But at percents that matter, which is kill percent, never works unless they DI in. That tornado has so much end lag. The startup of it, it's not like super slow, but like you just know when it's coming. Like you never should be afraid. Like, oh my god, oh man, am I gonna really dodge this? Yes, you're gonna dodge this. Stop being scared. It's fucking tornado. It's like so slow. It's not active for that long. Well, it's kind of active for long, but like they're gonna have to know that the last part of the move is gonna actually connect. Like they're gonna have to stop doing another tornado and like try to do something up in the air. Or like they know it's gonna connect, but more often than not they play it more safe and they don't do it, or they don't do that shit. Min L, losing matchup. This matchup is a losing matchup, 100%. This character is broken. Even though I can kill or go off stage and kill Min Min is literally more than Sephiroth's range with more. It's just more disjoint. It's literally more disjoint. If I'm forward tilting and Min is forward tilting, I'm getting hit because at least Sephiroth extends his hurt box. When he forward tilts, Min is like across the stage, ram forward tilt, and I get chipped away. Shit's annoying. Neutral's annoying. Disadvantage, you're basically guaranteed to die as long as the Min does not choke. Now, Game & Watch, you would think, sword character equals win versus Game & Watch. No. No, I ain't talking about no 4X. No, I'm not talking about no 4X. This might be Game & Watch's best sword character matchup. This, I'm going to say, is actually even. You have to watch out for a lot more than you would actually think. That neutral B is broken as fuck on the ledge. Game & Watch neutral B is one of the most, like, brain dead, bad shit, insane moves for a ledge tool ever in Smash. That shit is way too good against a lot of characters, but Sephiroth is one of those characters. That's not even like the only like main reason why Game & Watch does well against Sephiroth. His up B always beats Octaslash, like off stage. Like if I'm recovering with Octaslash and like I'm trying to, and he just goes down and just up B's in the same direction, I literally will eventually die. Unless I get a wing and I have somewhat of a chance to be able to come back. But it's also just really hard to like come back, or like I can't deal with it. I'm in the middle of my move and he just intangibilities through it. The thing is with Game & Watch is that Sephiroth does not have that many moves that are safe on shield unless you perfectly space them. And if you're slightly off, he can up B out of shield. So if I do forward tilt and it was a sour spot forward tilt, but he was like closer to me, like closer to the front of the blade rather than the end, up B out of shield. And now I'm in the air versus Game & Watch and he's just puff, up air, all that bullshit that you know Game & Watch for. It's even because Sephiroth has enough range to keep him out a decent amount of times, and also he could juggle him really well. Ness, I think is a win. Come on, it's Ness. Like, now this is a character that you could kind of compare with Game & Watch, where sword characters do give him a hard time. Like those like disjoints, like Ness has disjoints, so you know what you beat Ness with? More disjoint. Sephiroth got that. Ness doesn't have the options that Game & Watch has, where you just fucking get upbeat out of shield and then you get juggled for a fucking eternity and all this shit. He doesn't have anything like that. Ness is strong. A lot of his moves are strong. His down smash near the ledge is good, but Octaslash almost always beats that to the point where it's like rendered like useless, or like it's not an actual like viable thing. Unless you re-grab the ledge, you have to be careful about that, then you'll get down smashed. But yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? You outranged Ness a lot. Pac-Man, ooh, Pac-Man. This is a character that I thought was a free matchup until I actually played it a bit, and I was like, huh, this is not as free as I thought it would be originally, like just off the top of my head. But I do think Sephiroth wins this. All right, I do think he does fine. Pac-Man can box really well, and you actually do have to watch out. You know how I play like Pac God doing them forward airs and shit? Those forward airs are actually good as fuck. Like, there's a reason why Pac God actually works. Like, no projectiles and shit. Is because his other moves are actually that solid on top of his, like, really good projectile game. And shit like that. So even, like, when you're fighting Sephiroth, if you manage to get, like, a solid forward air that could combo into a lot of other forward airs, you might gimp him. You actually might gimp him. Because you might send him so far away that even with his double jump, he might not be able to make it back. Pac-Man's a very floaty character, and Sephiroth does really well against floaty characters because his range makes up for how slow his moves are, because, I mean, it's a lot of range. Like, what's Pac-Man gonna do outside a hydrant? If the hydrant's already on the ground and Pac-Man has to land, he has air dodge, and that's it. Or a double jumper, or like, you know, something to stall himself up in the air. But even if he does stall himself up in the air, eventually, you're gonna have to hit the ground. That's just how you play Pac-Man. You dance around, but you still have to hit the ground somewhere. And Sephiroth can cover those landings really well with his range. Pac-Man, strong as fuck though. Very, very strong character. So it's good to have a good winning matchup for Sephiroth, or another one. Oh boy, my favorite. Palutena. How you doing, girl? Palutena, I think is either even, or I actually think Palu might win. Like, it's so hard for me to say because I have the most experience with both characters, you know? Like you throw a Palu my way with Sephiroth, I'm destroying them, bro. You give me a Sephiroth with Palu, I'm destroying them, I guarantee you. I'm very, very confident against my character. So, it's so hard for me to actually say what I think the matchup is. I feel like it's so much easier though. I think it might be easier for Palutena to have a easier time, you know? Like, Sephiroth can ledge trap her pretty well, because her ledge traps, or her ledge options aren't that great. You can forward air from such a far distance that even if Palu does a warp to center stage, you can do straw hop forward air with Sephiroth. Well, you might even hit them with the forward air, because they up jump and up B. The forward air might connect and hit them here, interrupting their up B. Or you can land with the forward air and then like react to where they land and forward tilt. Like, you don't have to like guess. You can just react and be like, oh, they did the shorten warp right in front of my face. Up tilt, grab, forward tilt, whatever the fuck you want. Oh, they went behind me. Flick the C stick the other way. Swipe. Now Palutena just got hit by like sweet spot forward tilt. Now is on the other side of the stage. Now we rinse and repeat that scenario. But Palutena is now closer to kill percent because you just forward tilted her off stage. And Sephiroth's ledge trapping is really good for that. Versus Palutena. But Palutena, her back air is really good. You can actually trade Palutena's back air. If you perfectly time it, you could trade Palutena's back air with Octaslash. Like, you can actually hit, like, I'm pretty sure, dead straight, like, you know, Octaslash going directly into Palutena back air. If you time it right, you can actually hit her, or hit Sephiroth and interrupt them. And obviously, Blade Dash included if it's beating Octaslash. So, edge guarding Sephiroth, and also a lot of Sephiroths like jumping off stage and shit like that, or especially if they have an extra wing. Your auto reticle, if you snipe that jump, that sometimes seals the stock. Because then you can actually use Palutena's counter, and it actually works against Sephiroth. Or you can like make it work and make it actually land against Sephiroth, and you can close out the stock with that. So I don't know. It actually might be a -1. I think if you say even or -1, I really wouldn't argue. If you say Sephiroth wins, I would probably argue against that. The matchup is pretty neutral heavy. I feel like Sephiroth does really well at ledge trapping, and Palutena's ledge trapping is really good. You can't actually down tilt Sephiroth too much, because if you down tilt near the ledge and Sephiroth's directly under the ledge, you could get Octaslash and sent off stage, or like the angle of Octaslash can hit Palutena still. So down tilt 2 framing is not actually used that much in that matchup. So that's a plus for Sephiroth. I'm gonna put this as losing actually. I'll put I'll put this as losing, actually. Sephiroth's problem is that in this current meta, more characters that are like, that you have to worry about are characters that you have to beat in order to win a tournament. Like, look what I currently have as -1. That's literally like, well, you know, Joker is kind of banished, but if you fight Zachary, he might pull out the Joker if you're Sephiroth. You know, I would imagine that would be his go-to in that matchup. Pichu versus Sephiroth. Oh, toxic, but it actually might be even. It's either even or losing. Sephiroth don't be no fucking Pichu or Pikachu. I'm gonna just put that out right now before Pikachu goes. Pikachu absolutely beats Sephiroth. Pichu is similar to Inkling in the sense that Pichu is able to go so far off stage. You can stall so much off stage to let Pichu go back on stage, and then you're like, wait a second. Pichu's up B goes so far away that he can still use his double jump back air into the blast zone and still come back. It is hard. You know what, fucking this match. Just fuck this matchup, man. I hate this matchup. I hate this matchup. Fuck this character. Fuck small characters. I hate them all. There is spots in this matchup that is much easier to do versus Pichu than Pikachu. Like ledge trapping Pichu is so much easier because Pichu's up B does not have a hitbox. It's so much easier. Pikachu's quick attack sometimes be clanking with my forward tilt. Like, are you fucking for real? How? That move does like 2% and it's clanking with my forward tilt? There's no way. How? But Ken did beat Niatono in the Pichu versus Sephiroth matchup. So, that's why I'm not putting it at like -2 or anything like that. But, you know what? I'll put Pikachu at -1. I can't, even though I was like, you know, there's some easier things for Pikachu or easier things for Pichu than versus Pikachu. They have different reasons as to why they're annoying. Like I said, I can't really ledge trap Pikachu. Pichu is more explosive. Pichu is more explosive than Pikachu. If I get back aired near the ledge, I'm probably gonna die from Pichu. Like if I do a normal get up and he down tilts me into reverse up air, back air or some shit, it puts me in such a bad spot. Both characters, if I'm forced to up B and the Pichu and Pikachu know that I'm forced to up B, if they place their Thundercloud on the ledge, that's basically a stop. Guaranteed stop. Unless like I somehow tech like Kalos or some shit. Like if I tech the Kalos wall, I would not fight Pikachu or Pichu on Kalos with Sephiroth, by the way. Don't do that. That matchup, I can't imagine that going well. They excel on that match, on that stage more than Sephiroth does. So don't do that. But if you so happen to fight them on that stage, you might be able to tech the Thunder there, but any other stage, Smashville, Town and City, Battlefield, and you're forced to Octa Slash, and they're going down, you basically kiss your stock goodbye. Pichu, definitely, you're getting demolished. Like that, Pichu's Thunder is so strong, it kills Sephiroth at like 40 near the ledge, or like in that position. If you're somehow in that spot at 40% where you have to Octa Slash, that shouldn't really happen too much, but you can be placed in that spot. Olimar, I think Olimar's a +1. It's either a +1 or an even. Even though Olimar is like a small character, he's not as hard to hit as like Pikachu or Pichu, Inkling, yada yada yada. I don't know. He's not as bad. I will say I don't have much matchup experience personally, so so a lot of stuff is more like theory crafting. But I feel like Sephiroth should have a fine time. You know, he can delete Pikmin that are latched onto him with his Nair, which is really good. His back air has a lot of range, can also delete the Pikmin too. Side Bs are good against Pikmin and also like can go past the Pikmin and hit Olimar. So there's some good shit that Olimar has to deal with. Piranha Plant. Piranha Plant. Come on, man. Piranha Plant's a +2. Come on. If Piranha Plant does neutral B ever, and I'm next to him, it's over. Like, and I'm not talking about like next to, I'm talking about like near the ledge as well. Like if I'm getting ledge trapped and they try to do that neutral B bullshit, the neutral B hovers slightly above Piranha Plant. If he spits it out towards me, the counter still triggers because it goes in that direction where the counter still activates the counter. And if he tries to swallow the Patui or like not use it, it still falls down with an active hitbox. So if I'm next to him and I activate it, he still gets hit. That matchup is, he basically can't use that shit unless I'm like super far off stage. But even then, neutral. Piranha Plant's neutral is just so linear. It's like not good at all. Pokemon Trainer. Fuck that character. This matchup's annoying, bro. 100%. 100%. I think what truly makes this a painful matchup is Squirtle. Ivysaur is not too bad. Charizard's not bad. Squirtle is the problem. Squirtle is absolutely the problem in this matchup. It's so good for Squirtle that like him versus Sephiroth versus Ivysaur is like probably about even, maybe slightly Sephiroth. Charizard him is like maybe like slightly Sephiroth, but Squirtle is just like that much of an annoyance that alone makes the matchup like in favor of Pokemon Trainer. Because Ivysaur and Charizard, they still have stuff that they could do on Sephiroth, but sometimes you might not even have to fight them because you won't have a chance to. Because if somebody's really good with Squirtle, they can delete stocks off of Sephiroth with Squirtle, or at least like put him to wing percent, like 90 or 100% without much effort. Ridley, this matchup is either +1 or +2, I think. I'm gonna put +1, but it might be +2. Ridley is just combo food galore. Counter obliterates his recovery, obviously, just like the other sword characters do. Sephiroth's forward air shits on Ridley if he ever tries stalling his recovery from afar, and you hit him with a sweet spot or a sour spot forward air. That might be enough to close his stock. Oh yeah, Pyra Mythra. This is, oof. Man, if you've watched me and Cosmos play, you know this matchup is so free. So free. Yeah, man, this is one of the easiest matchups in the game to decide to use another character on, because this character literally does not let you play the game sometimes, and it's really, really frustrating. All you have is counter and pray, and this character is fucking bullshit. -1 though. Pyra Mythra, so bad. It's so annoying. Like, if I were to individually rate the characters, Pyra or Mythra would probably be a -2, and Pyra is like a +1, which, you know, equates to a -1. You know, this is probably what it actually would be. Pyra or Mythra versus fucking Sephiroth, I literally feel like I never actually genuinely put them in a spot that like I'm like, yeah, yo, I'm in control in neutral. I'm talking about neutral. Obviously disadvantage, you could counter the recovery and shit. That's disadvantage. But but the same shit you could be said for Fox. But obviously I have Fox down there. That Mythra is such a pain in the ass. And honestly, I don't even know if Pyra is even +1. Pyra is bullshit too. Pyra has almost the same range as Sephiroth, but kill power across the board. And Pyra might just be +1. The only good thing is that Pyra is slow as shit. But more often than not, you fight Pyra when you're in disadvantage, so it's kind of unfair. Like, you're not fighting Pyra, neutral, or anything like that. You don't do neutral with Pyra. You do disadvantage. If you somehow escape disadvantage, they swap to Mythra, and then it's a repeat. Unless they are choking and they really want the kill, then they stay Pyra, and then you start whooping Pyra's ass. But Pyra is just, oh my god. Oh my god, motherfuckers lose with this character. How the fuck is that possible? I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. Even I lose matches on Elite Smash. But we don't talk about that. Now, Pyra and Mythra, it's, whew, yeah. Whenever I hear people say they overrated, I'm like, you know, I'll take y'all saying Pikachu overrated, but Pyra Mythra, I don't care if she fucks up Sephiroth. She fucks up a lot of characters. She be putting in cheat codes, bro. I'm like, yo, this is punishable. Nah, no, it's not. It's like the fucking trailer where, you know, how Link was about to punish Pyra, and then Mythra is like, think again, slice the bomb and then fuck them up. That's literally what happens in the game. Like, you think you're about to hit Pyra, you got her on the ropes, and then Mythra is like, nah, fuck that shit. You are the ropes. She's gonna toss you to them ropes. You become the rope because you just stay there for so long. Nah, but Pyra Mythra, jokes aside, I think it's a pretty hard matchup. It's not the worst matchup just because the recovery is like pretty good for Sephiroth to close out, like Gimp and stuff, like, you know, safety counter to hit Mythra. Pyra up B is like, you know, not that great, and all that stuff. But advantage, or Sephiroth's advantage state is not the only thing that factors a matchup. Neutral is really difficult. That's why I have Mythra next to Fox, because that matchup, neutral is not real. It's not real. You actually, it feels like you have to throw out a counter and hope that they press a button to finally get that good hit in so you can start doing shit. If it feels like that, and I'm not even bad versus Pyra and Mythra, obviously. Like, I play Cosmos a lot. I'm very confident I'm one of the best people against Pyra and Mythra. But even then, I'm not like decimating Cosmos or anything. Like, he still wins probably more games than I do now. But like I feel like that doesn't happen. Like, if I'm really good against a matchup, I'm like winning the matches like 90-10 or some shit like that. And that's what it used to be versus Cosmos, but he's improved over time and stuff. But even back then, when I was winning by that much, I was like, yo, this character is BS. Like, what the fuck? But then obviously he learned a lot more. He got better as a player and all that stuff. So, you know, it correlates to him doing well against me as well, or as Sephiroth and all this shit. But yeah, Mythra is just really like frustratingly annoying to deal with in neutral. Advantage, or if Sephiroth's in advantage state versus Mythra, it's not too bad, obviously. But Mythra's speed is like a cheat code. She's literally in a bunny hood. I don't even know how she's like in a bunny hood, like when she actually is wearing one, because she just looks like she's in one right now. And like, it just, like, Pyra or Mythra is punishable on some things, obviously, but Sephiroth doesn't have like the frame data to hard punish or like get really good punishes on Pyra or Mythra. Or this is more like Mythra. She's like the main factor as to why they win this matchup. Pyra does play a factor though. Like, obviously Mythra can struggle to kill sometimes, but Pyra does a really good job at being Pyra, you know, landing that like that one hit. You know what? Fuck this shit. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck. Even. Fuck this shit. I was looking at it at +1. No, never mind. Fuck that shit. I don't know how a -2 and an even correlates to a -1, but you get the point. She does better, or Sephiroth does better against Pyra than he does against Mythra. That's basically what that's showing. But overall, Pyra and Mythra win the matchup. I think that's actually much more easier to understand. Sorry if I just realized, oh my god, I just realized I never had my notifications. Actually, wait, did I have my notifications on? I might have just not been reading them. My bad. Hold on. Let me swap the song too. I hate this character, but the character is a pretty fun character to play. So, good job. You made a fun, frustrating character. We like those. We like those kind of characters. Rob. I don't know. Rob is a character that like looks like the world's most bullshit character in the game whenever I watch him in bracket, but whenever I fight Rob, I've never once, not that I'm fighting the top Robs of course, but like, I don't know. I'm never really like, the only thing I really hate is how his fucking down tilt. His down tilt is stupid as shit. Like, that should not be as fast. It should not combo into stuff. Should not do any of that. But outside of that, I personally don't really mind too much about Rob. Obviously, the side B setups are really good too, but like I know when they're going for it. You know, I know when to avoid them and stuff like that. And if I get caught by it and it was like an obvious setup, then it's all me. It's not Rob, or what is Rob, but you know, I'm partially to blame for getting caught by that too. But Rob doesn't really. I think Sephiroth actually might beat Rob. Just +1 though. Just +1. I don't know. I would need more. That's definitely a character I might need more experience in, but I actually think Sephiroth does fine. Sephiroth side B does pretty good against Rob's down B. Like a fully charged Shadow Flare beats Gyro and still hits Rob, if I'm not mistaken. So that helps a lot because, you know, they love shooting fucking gyros and shit like that. And obviously the more orbs, the better on the opponent. And Rob, Rob is more often in the air. In a lot of these matches, he's more often in the air rather than the ground. So the chance of him actually blocking the orbs and being okay is very rare, actually, because a lot of times they jump, shoot laser, or shoot gyro and all this shit and try to do some setup like Nair and stuff. So if you actually tack on orbs, they play a lot more grounded, but that means even more grabs because they're not really used to fighting on the ground unless they're looking for like down tilt gyro setup into F smash and all that fucking Chuck E. Cheese bullshit. Gyro can fuck up Sephiroth's recovery. That I do know about. You know, like, it can only hit Sephiroth's recovery at a specific spot. So I never really had too much of a struggle recovering versus Sephiroth, or versus Rob in my personal experience, but I'm not fighting the best Robs in the world, so, you know, it might actually be a lot more different. But Rob is a pretty fucking good character, don't get me wrong. But I actually think Sephiroth does good in that matchup. Robin, I think is a +1 as well, actually. I think Robin. I don't know what else. I don't know what to really say about this. Robin has kill power. That's pretty good. But Robin's like projectiles all lose to side B. Sephiroth's side B. Sephiroth's Shadow Flare can beat Arc Fire, can beat L Thunder, can beat Neutral B, can beat Arc Thunder, or like stop Arc Thunder in place wherever it's at. Go through it and hit Robin. The only thing it won't beat is Thoron. I think the side B still lands on Robin, but it doesn't stop the Thoron. But overall, like, you can outrange Robin's everything like really well, but Robin does have easy combos on Sephiroth because of Sephiroth's height. Robin will almost never drop a combo. So if you get hit by an Arc Fire, you're getting hit by F Smash, back air, another Arc Fire into an up air, something. You're almost never not going to get hit. So you have to watch out for shit like that. And she does have some good setups like that. Rosalina and Olimar. Wow, this is not a matchup I don't think I've ever played. Maybe a single game? Maybe versus like one specific Elite Smash Rosalina when I play Sephiroth. I'm putting it at +1 right now. I don't think it's even. Roy. Honestly, Roy is hard. But I think I need more experience. Personally. Roy is very overwhelming. He's so aggressive to the point where it's scary to even go for a counter because you don't want to like miss a counter and die to a side B at 60 or an F smash at 50 near the ledge. Roy is scary good. I didn't think he was like super good. I played Riddles as Roy. That's like my only offline experience against like current Roy. And his Roy was really doing good against my Sephiroth. Like, I was like, shit. Like, jab. And that's the thing. Jab F smash was working really well. But I don't know if that was because I was, like, he was hitting me at the perfect percents. Or if I DI'd in or anything like that. I'm pretty sure I didn't DI in. Because why would I try to DI in for that? I know the setup. But if it was working that well on Roy, that's why I'm like, Chrom, I'm not sure it's a losing matchup. Because that shit should work just as well, if not better, for Chrom to close out of stock than Roy. And that's scary. These characters are fucking good. They're fucking good, dude. Ryu. I think Ryu is a winning matchup. It's the same thing as Ken, but I feel like Ken has an easier time killing. A win, but not entirely free. Sans, broken character, you know, one of the top tiers of the meta, you know, overwhelmingly popular, godlike. I think like Toon Link is a +1. It's not too bad of a matchup. He's not throwing as much projectiles out. It's kind of like it's fighting like Link, but just a bit easier. Not as much kill power, so you might play with the wing a lot more than you would against the other Links. Well, man, maybe Young Link you would play with the wing a decent amount more often than not, but it still is a little bit of an annoying matchup. Oh boy, oh man. Oh, I love this. The worst matchup. The worst matchup I have ever played with Sephiroth. So bad. Like, oh my god. I need Void to spawn here now. It's not unwinnable, but it almost feels like it's unwinnable. That's the best way I can explain it. Like, it's just normal Sheik shit, but Sephiroth does not have the frame data, and Sheik doesn't have the power to make my counter that much important in the matchup. If I counter a jab or a forward tilt or a forward air from Sheik, that shit's not killing till like 140. But if I counter a bouncing fish, then it kills Sheik at like, you know, like 60 or 70%, which is really good. But even if Sheik doesn't bouncing fish to recover or anything like that, I'm not gonna edge guard that. How the fuck am I edge guarding that? It's almost impossible. Put her lower. What you mean lower? Like lower as a -3 or lower as a like -1? -3. See, like even Void agrees, bro. That matchup is hard. The only reason that other people will not maybe agree with Sheik being the hardest matchup is because they're not fighting a Sheik like Void, who is optimized in combos that Sheik should be doing. Not this elite smash shit like forward air into fastball SD bullshit. No, I'm not talking about these players. I'm talking about someone who knows the Sephiroth matchup versus someone who knows the Sheik matchup. Sheik is going to obliterate the Sephiroth. More games than the Sephiroth is going to obliterate the Sheik. That is a factual shit. Like, if both players equal level and equal matchup experience play each other, out of like 10 games, the Sheik is going to win like fucking 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 or some shit. Like, it's bad. They should win that many games basically. I'll say 7 games because like, you know, equivalent to -2 in, you know, out of a 10 games, 7-3. Like, I was thinking, like, you know, when during the birthday bash when I was playing against Void and stuff, or like, you know, they came over, I was like, you know, I might do a good job. This man is laughing at me while comboing me. Like, the combo's not even done yet, and he's laughing because he knows it's over. And I'm just like, over here, like, Mrs. Puff sweating, like, why you laughing, bro? Stop laughing, and I'm dead. Shulk. I think Sephiroth actually does good against Shulk. The only thing you have to watch out for is Octaslash on a Shulk that has the shield Monado art still active on the ground. If you know that they don't have the shield, then you can Octaslash, and if they go to anything else, they will get sent farther than any other Monado art, or like than the shield art, especially Smash art. They wouldn't do some crazy shit like that. Shulk has to consistently have hitboxes around him, otherwise he's like whatever, you know, like, you know, speed art. Nair, blah, blah, blah. He has to do a bunch of this shit. Sephiroth, he could just be chilling on the ground, about to snap, or just like, you know, counter. You know, counter is always a thing, that players fighting against Sephiroth have in their mind, so they don't want to mindlessly spam, but that also gives Sephiroth a bit more respect as a result, because you don't want to just mash your aerials, your safe aerials and shit into a counter and then get hit, because that will hit even at max space, I believe. Simon. +1. It's Simon Bell, my man. Like, come on, bro. Weak off-stage gameplay. Hit him with like a back throw back air, even at like mid%, he has to respect the fuck out of you, because your forward air lingers long enough that you can cover the ledge. If he tries to tether recovery with forward air or up air, you know, diagonal forward air, shit like that. But on the ground, Sephiroth side B beats out the cross if he throws it fully charged, and also hits Simon, so that's really good. You know, anything that Shadow Flare beats as a projectile and continues the hitbox as an active move is a good thing, like for Sephiroth. So as you can see, a lot of the projectile characters are in like +1 because a lot of the projectiles lose to fully charged side B. Snake is a hard character for me to say, because this is a flex. This is a flex, but I mean, y'all know what I'm about to say. I fucking destroy Snake. I can destroy Snake with almost every character. So it's so hard for me to put in perspective of a Snake or Sephiroth with equal matchup knowledge and shit versus Snake with equal Sephiroth knowledge, because like it's so much better. Whenever I'm fighting against Snakes, I know I'm just going to destroy you because I'm so confident against Snake. So it's really hard. So basically I'm saying this because maybe I think Sephiroth wins, but I don't know if Sephiroth actually wins because I'm pretty good against Snake, or like I'm godlike against Snake. I'm not even gonna cap. I would say Snake wins Snake loses +1, or Sephiroth wins +1. Excuse me, I don't want to confuse people. I would say Snake loses, but I can see this being even. I will take an even. Snake is tricky. He sucks at landing against Sephiroth's stuff, but on the ground, crouching, his crouch is so fucking good. Like for the type of character Snake is, Snake crouching is broken as shit. Luckily Sephiroth could still hit him with down tilt, or you can do that side B shit where you side B from a full hop and still hit somebody crouching and shit like that. But you have to also rely on your opponent to just take the hit, Like if they know about that, they're not just gonna sit there crouching expecting it to miss. They're gonna probably run up and up tilt you, or run up and up air you, or dash attack you, and it's gonna go through the side B and shit like that, or hit you before the side B even comes out. It's not something super reliable to go for when Snake is crouching. And yeah, that crouch helps a lot, eliminate a lot of Snake's problems in neutral. But obviously, when it comes to advantage state, Sephiroth destroys Snake in advantage. Sonic is a hard one, honestly, because my Sonic experience is these motherfuckers that just run away on Elite Smash. I want to say it's either even or in Sephiroth's favor, actually. I don't know how good Sonic truly is at edgeguarding Sephiroth. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that I need to brush up on knowledge on that. Spring goes through Octaslash, but that's whatever to me. Spring is good on some specific matchups, but I don't think it's good. I don't think it's as important, or I don't think it's the go-to thing for Sonic versus Sephiroth. It can be to rack up percent when you know that you can't kill him with anything. Like if he's recovering from an angle where you know for a fact you can't hit him, then up B is good. But if he's if this is the ledge and Sephiroth's right here and he has to Octaslash, honestly, with the range of Sonic's back air, me as the Sonic, I would probably go down here. Sephiroth would Octaslash up to the ledge, and I would probably try to back air. Sephiroth is pretty vulnerable in that angle where, if he's going up like this area right here is very easy to hit with an aerial. So something like Sonic back air would probably be better to do if you force Sephiroth to recover in that kind of angle. If Sephiroth is recovering directly under you, though, directly under the ledge, then you can go for a spring, because what the fuck is Sonic gonna do from up there? Then spring is good. Tech on that extra percent. Maybe they might miss the tech on the stage and they might die, or something. Then it's better to do that. But when it comes to off stage, like over here, this is the blast zone, I think it's better to back here. I'll put it at even. It's hard to say. I would like to get more experience, even if it's just Wi-Fi stuff, just to see the comfortability, I guess, of how Sephiroth moves in neutral against Sonic. Also, Sonic doesn't truly kill early. You might get hit by an S smash or something like that, but more often than not, you don't die early. You can get spin dash into forward air near the ledge too, but Sonic doesn't kill consistently at 80%. So wing will be a factor in this matchup. So that's why I'm leaning towards +1, but I'll take an even. Sora, you fucking suck, Sora. Steve, +1. Steve is also a winning matchup. Man, Sephiroth might not be as bad as I thought, man. He only loses to good characters. And he beats good characters too. But it sucks that my best friends are all these stupid ass, annoying ass motherfuckers that make me want to not use Sephiroth. Yeah, no, Steve versus Sephiroth is not +2. There's no way. Sephiroth versus Steve is good, but Steve's explosive factor is way too high. It's way too high. His combos are very consistent on Sephiroth because he's just perfect combo food. He's very light, so he doesn't even have to do as much of like the, you know, like the little bridge shit into up smash, because Sephiroth dies at like 80 from that shit, from like 2 blocks going up. It's really consistent. And then yeah, you know, Steve's just like craziness factor of just being able to do a lot of setups. Diamond just being it, Diamond is very good. But even with all that being said, Sephiroth does win or have an easier time in neutral. Steve can't mindlessly minecart in that matchup, because if he's on the minecart and Sephiroth counters it, it fucking destroys Steve. Like, Steve gets obliterated at like 20% near the ledge, or like 30%. Especially if he has the gold and uses like the boost. They don't control when they use the boost. If they have the gold, it will always use the boost as long as they have the gold. So you will know if they side B and they have the gold right next to their UI, you know it's going to be the powered up version, so it means it's going to be the power up counter. Terry, oh man, I just finished having an offline session with this dude a couple of weeks ago. Man, that character. Ooh. Remember what I said about Ken and Ryu being able to chase me if they get a clean hit? Oh man. I think the easy answer to say here is even. Sephiroth fucks up Terry off stage like almost anybody else does against Terry. But Terry up close is a fucking menace for Sephiroth to deal with. It's kind of like Sheik in a sense, where like a lot of the moves that he does are jab and down tilt. So even if I call out those jabs and down tilts will counter, it doesn't do that much because I'm countering weak ass moves. But if I don't counter, it's free ass shield pressure. Even jab on my shield, like him being able to delay jab into a like power dunk and shit like that, is a 50-50 on my shield. Like if I try grabbing him in the middle of that and then he instantly does power dunk, the power dunk will actually beat my grab because he's doing the input, so he has intangibility at the start of it. So I'm grabbing nothing, and like it's an actual like setup. But both characters are pretty explosive against each other. Like if you counter a power dunk off stage or a burn knuckle or anything like that, he dies. Terry just dies. So I'm gonna say this is actually this is even. I think it's an even matchup. Okay, there's a couple top tiers here, or like really strong characters, and then like Zelda. So let's you know, get Zelda out of here. We Fit. I think this matchup is dog shit as well. Wario. I think Sephiroth wins. Or it's even. It's either Sephiroth wins or it's even. Sephiroth has the range and shit to deal, or like to give Wario a hard time. But Wario's, if they decide to start camping themselves, it's actually pretty annoying to land hits. And you might think, oh, that's not too bad. But I can't just sit there and let Wario just get wafts, you know? Like that's the whole thing about Wario. He's hit and run, you know, he hits you, tries to build up some percent, but while at the same time building up his waft. I will say if Wario's were more confident in going for their wafts, Wario might be like definitely like even, or maybe even Wario, because they can play like a fucking bitch in this matchup. But for the time being, I feel like, you know, at the moment, Wario, you know, has a hard time getting in. Side B is pretty good. It hits him out of the bike as well. If he tries to use a bike off stage, forward air is really good at knocking him off the bike as well. You can counter both the bike, the recovery, and all this shit. Wario, he has consistent combos on Sephiroth. Sephiroth is light, so you know you have to watch out for waft at maybe like a little bit earlier of a percent. But like I said, a lot of Warios tend to hold on to their waft for the last stock, which I do not agree is a good idea in many cases. And this matchup might be one of those cases. Wolf. I've played this matchup both as Sephiroth and as Wolf. I just think he wins. Like, I think Wolf wins. At best, it's even. Sephiroth does not win this matchup at all. Neutral is really good for Wolf. Obviously, he's like the neutral god. I'm putting him right here because I'm tired of holding the button. But he's the neutral god. Sephiroth can edge guard him really well with counter. You know, low risk. if you can force him in a certain scenario, you can counter his side B or his up B and delete that stock. Getting him off stage is the hard part, which is why I think it might be -1, because Wolf, his neutral is not just like, oh, I do laser and do all this shit. His dash forward and dash back is actually so good. He weaves in and out of hitboxes so well. And he can get in really quickly with instant dash attack. Like, I could do like short hop forward air, and like he dashes out of the sword hitbox and then comes in with an instant dash attack and actually punishes my landing with that forward air. Or that of the forward air that I did. And I'm just like, damn, I'm gonna get back on that. I'm gonna get back on Wolf. That's actually one of the most difficult ones that I had to think of. Or like I'm thinking of. Yoshi low-key is not free. This is another matchup where, similar to Game & Watch, where it's like, oh, you just use a sword character and, you know, Yoshi loses. That's not, is never as simple as that. Even with the sword characters, like, Yoshi has those fucking moments where he hits you one time and you get put from 20% to 95% for free. Sephiroth, he might die at that 95%. But I still will give it up to Sephiroth just a little bit, because Sephiroth can juggle. Even though Yoshi's airspeed is the best in the game, Yoshi's can still get edge guarded, or can still get juggled pretty well with Sephiroth, or by Sephiroth, with up airs. I feel like that's something a lot of Sephiroths don't do. They don't really do like short hop up air, short hop reverse up air too often when opponent is landing. That shit is so broken. It's literally a whole fucking screen of disjoint. And if you hit them, you don't even have to land a sweet spot. If you hit the sour spot, they still get set up, and you can like repeat the scenario again and shit like that. But yeah, Yoshi is a hard. It's not as hard as Wolf to like decide on how it is, but I think Yoshi or Sephiroth slightly edges it out against Yoshi. And now we go to the main event. The -3. The -4, might I say. Like, why are you playing this matchup character? And that's Young Link. Broken. Beyond belief. Like, somebody needs to grab the Ocarina of Time and go back and make sure he don't exist. Like, the opposite. Go back. Not no Master Sword bullshit. Not 7 years in the future. Make sure he just does not exist. Like, don't deal with him. He's toxic. Beyond toxic. Online. But if we're talking strictly offline matchup experience, or like, you know, one against the other, I would say Young Link versus Sephiroth is it's like that meme where I'm sweating after press one button. If I say even, or if I say +1, I'm against myself, and if I say even, it's still like bad. I'm gonna say even. I'm gonna say even, and by saying even, that makes me think Wolf is -1. Different reasons, but I don't think I feel like Wolf does a better job at being more frustrating than Young Link. Actually, you know what? No, I can't. I actually can't agree with that. Never mind. Young Link can actually be even more annoying. Let me put Wolf back. Wolf pack. Okay, you go back to your spot. This is not ordered, but you know. And we made it to the final character. Nina Williams. I mean, Zero Suit. Zero Suit is so hard to say, cause I have obviously played Mars offline, and I feel like, yo, he got out of content creator Mars. Like, to play me, he came out of content creator Mars and fucking shitted on my Sephiroth. I was like, bro, this is mad annoying. I'm getting out frame dated. His jab 1 is actually stopping me way more than any other matchup I've ever done versus Zero Suit. I don't know what I think of this matchup. So it could be a -1, which is not bad. It's just like, you know, slight edge for Zero Suit. Zero Suit outspeeds Sephiroth in all categories, winged form and not. Recovery versus Sephiroth is pretty easy with Zero Suit, obviously with the help of flip kick. But, well, I won't say it's easy. I'm pretty good at sniping Zero Suit's jumps, or like, you know, punishing Zero Suit's like flip kick options and shit like that. And even like ledge trapping her a little bit. Just probably because I played Zero Suit enough to like understand why they would go for those options in those moments. But I'm thinking theoretically like somebody that a Sephiroth that would know exactly those things as well. Yeah, this is I will accept an even for this. It's either even or -1. She's kind of fallen off the meta, but that means nothing because Zero Suit doesn't fight Sephiroth, or Sephiroth doesn't fight Zero Suit in this current meta because they both nearly don't exist. I would like more information. I played Palu versus Mars after he fucked up my Zero Suit, or after he fucked up my Sephiroth in that bash exhibition that we did. And then in friendlies, like I went back and forth and stuff, so I would like more. Alright, fuck it, I'm doing it. I kept going back and forth. Wolf wins.